Welcome back to the Need to Ride. Today I'm just going to do a quick video on one of my bikes, my K1200 RS. It's a 2001. It's called the Taxicab because of the paint, and I'll give you some close-up shots of the paint in a little bit. I'll go around the bike, show you what makes it so special for me, maybe not to everybody. Some people call it a weird bike. It's a heavy motorcycle. It's like 630 pounds. Don't quote me on the exact number, but it's up there, where it's actually heavier than my white RT, which is amazing when you think about how heavy a motorcycle can be and still be called a sport tourer. So it's definitely one of the heaviest sport tourers out there. It does have a inline 4, but it's mounted sideways, and I'll show you that up close later. It produces 130 horsepower. It's not slow, I'll say that. It might be a little overweight, but when you're getting on the road, it doesn't feel that way. It feels very planted. The power it delivers is very linear. It's actually a joy to ride. It's a little cramped, it's a little tight for me. I have a 32-inch inseam, so my legs are a little bit long. So when I get into the crouch position on this bike, it does crowd me a little bit. It does take a little bit of getting used to for me, the first 2 minutes or 3 minutes on the bike. But after a while, I settle in, and it's not too bad. Would I take it on a long ride? No, I would not take it on, a 5-hour ride. A 2-hour ride, I could do that. Unlike the RT, where you could spend days on the motorcycle, the RS is just, for me, not that bike. I did talk to, if you remember, in a previous video, the owner of BMW up in Fort Myers. He has the same exact motorcycle. And he took that from the Midwest down to Naples, Florida, I don't know how many years ago, 15 years ago, somewhere back there. I don't know how he did that. I don't think I could do it. But be that all said, as you can tell, it's a pretty nice looking motorcycle. I think it's very unique. I love the way it looks. I like the styling on the bike. That's why I bought it. It took me 2 years to find this particular bike. I saw this bike in the showroom at BMW when I was buying the RT, and I knew then I had to have this motorcycle. So it was an adventure to find one. I know they've built 37,000 of them, or in that vicinity, 36,999, something like that. Finding one of these in really good shape was difficult at best. I found this up in Long Island, New York. A dealer up there had it. It had 8,000 miles on it when I bought it. It's almost 9,000 now. I don't ride it a lot because I want to keep the mileage off it, but I do ride it once in a while. And the next video, I'm going to take this to a very special place out in the Everglades. It's pretty far from my house. It's probably an hour ride. So we're going to take it out. We're going to take it on a long stretch, and we're going to talk about that place when we get there, and we'll go over that, and then we'll talk about my impressions on the bike after a long ride, and I'll tell you how I feel about it. But for now, let's go over the intricacies of the bike and take a closer look. Okay, as I said, this is the Taxicab. If you look on the bottom there, you can see why they call it the Taxicab with the checkerboard paint. It's actually a decal, believe it or not. This bike is pretty much all stock. I don't think there's anything on here that's not BMW or came from the factory that way. The only thing that's been replaced, I replaced one of the disconnects in the fuel line, because when you take this thing apart to do the air filter, you have to take all this cowlings off, all this plastic, to get to it and lift the tank off the top. And then there's two quick releases: the input line and the return line. And I had to replace one of them because whoever was working on this last just put a mend in it, and that's, you can't take the tank off. You have to have a quick release. So with that said, you can see this is the inline 4, and it's mounted sideways. And you can see it right there, how it's mounted. It is a shaft drive. And as you can see, I got the original exhaust. Nothing's been touched on this bike. It's a super, super clean motorcycle. We'll take a look at the front. I replaced that ugly fairing that looked like I don't know, looked like Predator to me. It was really kind of ugly. Then I put the stock fairing or windshield back on it. And again, you can see this is where you put the oil when you do your oil change. And it's got ABS. This is the first year for ABS to be standard on this bike. Before that, it was optional. They made these bikes from, I think, 94 to 2004, or 96 to 2004. A lot of these, they made a lot of them. I never realized how many there were until now, now that I own one. And as you can see, it's got 89,990, so we're almost at the mark. We're almost at 9,000. Probably one of the lowest mileage bikes you'll see, and it's almost flawless, and it's in its natural state. Nothing was replaced, no real upgrades, or no upgrades at all. Even the handlebars, you look at the controls, they're really in good shape, really clean, not all faded. I have the 2006 K1200 RS, and it's a nice motorcycle, but it has 36,000 miles on it, and it looks like it has 36,000 miles on it. And then you can see it out there. 130 pounds lighter with 167 horsepower. That bike that's a hooligan. This is a little bit more tame. It doesn't beat you up. I am replacing the side markers. I'm waiting for some parts. That's the only thing bad about these bikes. Parts on them are brutal. I'll say that. You're always going back to Europe to get parts, whether it's from Germany, or the latest parts I'm getting right now are coming from Latvia, and that's the housings for the lights. I got the mounts. They got these little spring clips that go into these here. This pops on. It's kind of a weird setup. They break. They look like a basket. I'll show you that in a little bit. I'll bring that out and I'll show you how that goes on. So this is what I'm talking about. This is the side marker that goes on the bike. So it'll go on like this. I think this is the right side. Do I have the right side? Yes. So this will go in and mate up to this. There we go. Holding the camera and doing this at the same time. So you have to line this all up. You can see all that. And then you push it in. And it goes on like that. Now the piece that I have to replace is this outer piece, because the other one is cracked. This right here, I have one of these. It's not quite right, the basket. And being I got all brand new parts, dummy me, I should have realized. I should have just got everything, because I bought these all brand new so I could fit this back on the bike. So And again, if you can see that, this fits on like this. You gotta line up this slot, and then the baskets. And then it'll pop right on and stay there. See how that works out for me when I go to put this back together. But I'm gonna wait for my new pieces. I got both sides, even though I didn't actually need them. The plastic is older, so I don't want one side looking different than the other. Put that down. Now I'm going to do a cold start on the bike. I'll show you how easy it is to turn this bike on. It runs perfect. Fuel injected, obviously. And there you go. Starts right up. The ABS flashes. Until you get running. When you start rolling along, the ABS goes out. The ABS is the weakness on these bikes. It's a big unit. It's in the middle of the bike. So when they go, you can buy replacement ones. They're about $1,500 to $2,000. You can get them refurbished, but it is a task to put them in. What I've read, and I heard they're very hard to bleed. Now the lights on this are I think a little dim, so I tend to ride with the brights on. Put it on dim. You can tell a difference. Very quiet. No smoke. And we'll take it for a little ride and show you how it runs. I'll give you my short-term impressions on the bike. And when you store these, you should store them upright like I do right now, because if you don't, they tend to let the oil go past the rings, and then it smokes a lot when you first start it. Bike's a little unique. The oil filter's inside the crankcase, or I'll say inside the oil pan. You gotta drop this cover to get to it, and it's inside it. It's a little bit of a pain in the, you know what. The other thing that's a little tough on this bike is you got to take all the fairings off in the tank to get to the air filter. So it's got to take 40 minutes to get everything off to get to it. And this motorcycle is over 130 horsepower, and it gets up there quick. And the power on the RS, because it's the flying brick motor, right? It's that inline four, and it's sideways. It looks like basically a car engine, right? It is so linear. The power just comes in, and it's so smooth. I love this motorcycle. To me, it's one of the best motorcycles BMW ever made, was the brick. And they made it in all different variations, an LT, more of a touring bike. This is a sport touring bike. Some guys sport them out. You see that online. But this is an amazing, amazing platform. anybody who has never ridden one, if you ever have a chance to ride a brick, the flying brick, you gotta ride one, because I have never ridden. I've ridden many motorcycles. I had a lot of Harley Davidsons, and I've had a Suzuki and a couple of Hondas. And man, I'll tell you, this bike is so unique. I mean, it's on the level of the Boxer, right? The Boxer is very unique. It's got that whole thing going on, but this is the complete opposite of the Boxer. It's got huge torque coming off the bottom. Its power is just delivered so, you know, it's that linearity that you don't expect from a motorcycle. The other thing, like the Boxer, you know, I have the 2022. It has a spot where when the cam comes on, it starts to really take off. I mean, it's a fast motorcycle, don't get me wrong, and it's a nice running motorcycle, great touring motorcycle, but the power is very different. Yes, it has the grunt, has some torque on the bottom, but I just find this bike to be, I'll use this word, graceful in its delivery. You know, how it delivers the power. Just a great bike. And it's a great day to be alive in Southwest Florida. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed my review of my RS, my K1200 RS, the Taxicab. It's a unique motorcycle that brings a lot of joy in my life. I really do love that motorcycle. I found one, fortunately, with very low mileage and very good condition. I didn't pay a ton of money for it. You can get them between $3,000 and $4,000, maybe $5,000 on the expensive side for a real mint one. I didn't pay that much, but I still think it's one of the best motorcycles BMW ever produced. Albeit the GL, you know, 1600 and the RTs and the adventure bikes and the RR, they're all great motorcycles in their own right, but this is a unique motorcycle with unique power, and it has its place in history. So if you ever have a chance to ride one, definitely ride one. If you're looking to buy one, do your research, find a good one, because they are expensive to fix if things go wrong. Make sure that the ABS works on them, and make sure it was well taken care of, and the bike has been serviced regularly. And if they are, they last a long, long time. So thanks for watching, and keep riding, and God bless.